You tell yourself tonight is the night. You make the schedule, you set the alarm, and you go to sleep swearing tomorrow will be different. But when the sun comes up, you find yourself in the exact same spot, staring at a screen while the hours slip away. Your brain's trained habits dictate this output. What feels like laziness is the result of a biological hijacking, where your neurochemistry has been rewired to prioritize effortless pleasure over productive work. This process is driven by dopamine, the molecule of pursuit. Rather than providing happiness or satisfaction, this chemical creates the restless urge to act, move, and seek out rewards. For ancient humans, that drive was a survival mechanism, rewarding the intense physical effort required to hunt for food or explore new territory. Today, that effort has been removed. Everything your brain craves, validation, entertainment, sugar, is available instantly with a single tap. This mismatch between our biology and our environment quietly drains your most valuable resources. It bleeds away your time and your energy, leaving you physically present but entirely absent from your own life. To see exactly why you can't focus, look at this diagram. The horizontal line represents your brain's natural baseline for focus and motivation. When you flood your system with a constant stream of cheap rewards from scrolling and junk food, you create these massive, artificial spikes in stimulation. To protect itself from this flood of chemical signals, the brain desensitizes itself. It adapts by raising its expectations for excitement, causing your baseline to shift upward. This creates a severe disconnect. When you try to engage in normal, meaningful tasks, like reading a book or tackling a project, they only generate a small amount of stimulation. As you can see, these actions now fail to reach your elevated baseline. This gap is why sitting quietly or working on a slow task feels physically painful or impossibly boring. Until you lower that biological baseline back to its natural state, no amount of willpower or trying harder will cure your inability to focus. Because the brain adapts to high levels of stimulation by desensitizing its receptors, regaining your focus requires more than just a better schedule. You have to physically lower that baseline by removing overstimulation long enough for your neurochemistry to recover. This is the dopamine detox. Step 1 is identifying your specific dopamine leaks. This involves writing down every unconscious habit that drains your energy, from endless scrolling to compulsive gaming, to see exactly where your focus is being stolen. Step 2 is the 24-hour hard reset. You pick a single day to aggressively sever all unnecessary stimulation. No social media, no streaming entertainment, no junk food, and no random phone use. This 24-hour window introduces intense psychological friction. Without a screen in front of your face, you will encounter a deafening silence. You will feel sudden, sharp boredom, and likely experience spikes of real anxiety as your brain begs for a quick distraction. That discomfort is actually your goal. Feeling restless and bored is the literal biological indicator that your brain's baseline is successfully dropping back to normal. Once the baseline is lowered, you must navigate step 3. Replace, don't remove. If you simply leave a vacuum where your old habits used to be, your brain will inevitably snap back to those easy pleasures the moment your energy dips. You have to substitute digital consumption with analog actions. When the urge to scroll hits, you read a few pages of a physical book, write in a journal, or take a short walk outside. Step 4 is creating low dopamine mornings. The first hour after waking sets the chemical trajectory for your entire day. Grabbing your phone in bed immediately floods the brain with high stimulation, ruining your focus state before the day has even begun. Protecting that first hour keeps your morning calm and intentional. This creates a cascade effect, making every subsequent decision feel easier to control. Step 5 relies on delay, not denial. Absolute bans, like swearing you will never use social media again, usually fail because they rely on willpower that eventually runs out. Promising a reward only after the work is done leverages your brain's existing pursuit mechanism to build discipline. You reach the end of the day with your tasks completed and your leisure time actually feeling restorative rather than guilt-ridden. With your baseline reset, you arrive at step 6, building focus like a muscle. Now that your brain isn't fighting a constant chemical dependency, you have to systematically train your atrophied attention span. You start with a daily workout, a 25-minute block of deep work with zero distractions. phone in another room, single task on the screen. Once the timer rings, you take a mandatory period of conscious rest and deep breathing. These blocks create a flow state. The brain stops demanding quick hits of stimulation, settling into a rhythm of deep, continuous engagement. Sustained focus is never an accident. It is a biological state earned by repeatedly choosing low-stimulation actions over cheap thrills. 5 years from today, there are 2 potential realities branching out from this exact moment. There is the version of you who ignores this and continues to scroll, looking back on a half-decade of regret. Then, there is the version who decides to take control today. The only difference between those 2 futures is the decision you make when this video ends. Disconnect the screen and take one small analog